I am Daniel. I'm 34 years old. I live in a mid-sized city, and this is my story. It's not the kind of story that has some grand lesson at the end or a neat little bow you can tie around it. It's messy, it's complicated, and to be honest, it's something I still wrestle with even though it's been a while. I'm putting it out there not to clear my name, not to play the victim, and not even to seek validation. I just need to say it, to have it somewhere outside of my own head, because keeping it locked up has been driving me insane. So here it is. I've known this woman, let's call her Claire, since college. She's a couple years older than me, 36 now, and from the very beginning, we had a strong bond. Back in college, we were part of the same larger friend group. We'd hang out in dorm lounges, study late, go to parties, the usual. Over time, we gravitated toward each other, not romantically, but in that comfortable, this person gets me kind of way. I thought of her as a good friend, someone who was sharp, witty, maybe a little cutting sometimes, but fun. Life carried on, years passed, people moved in and out of the city, and somehow our friendship stayed alive. Before the pandemic hit, she was about to get married. I remember she told me she didn't feel great in that relationship, that she had doubts, that maybe she was making a mistake. I took her seriously when she said those things, but at the same time I thought, hey, plenty of people get cold feet before they tie the knot. I didn't insert myself too much, but I did listen, and I think she appreciated that. Around then, we started hanging out more regularly, especially at her best friend's place, because that's where the group usually gathered. And that's where things started to shift. It wasn't romantic, not in the physical sense, but we developed what I can only call a platonic romance. There was a closeness, an intimacy, a vibe between us that was more than friendship, but not quite love. We'd talk deeply, we'd joke like we were the only ones in the room, we'd sometimes hold hands or lean against each other for no reason. It felt pure at the time, like emotional companionship, but I could tell she wanted it to cross into something more. She told me outright more than once that she wanted to be intimate. I brushed it off, always keeping the "we're just friends" line strong. I didn't want to complicate things, and if I'm honest, part of me didn't trust her temper. Because here's the thing, she could be mean, abusive even. There were times she insulted me, gave me the cold shoulder for no reason, snapped at me in public. Once she almost hit me with her car, whether out of carelessness or anger, I still don't know. And when I pulled away from her because it was becoming too toxic, she spun it around. Suddenly I was misogynistic, according to her. She let people know I was a bad guy, made digs at me whenever she could. I didn't chase her down to defend myself, I just stepped back. I figured it was better to let the friendship fade rather than fight with someone who seemed determined to paint me in the worst light. So, for a while, the only times I saw her were at birthday parties for mutual friends. I kept it civil. I thought maybe that chapter was closed. But then, out of nowhere, she orchestrated this thing. She had two mutual friends text me to come to a birthday party I wasn't even invited to. Later, she admitted she was the one who told them to invite me. I should have been more cautious, but I went. At the party, I didn't hang around her too much. I mostly talked to other friends. Afterward, a smaller group of us went to a club, her, me, and another mutual friend. And somehow, by the end of the night, it was just me and her, alone in that club. She started needling me again, saying I had changed, that I wasn't the nerd she used to know, that I was always out now, clubbing, socializing. It was weird, like she wanted me to still fit in a box she'd built years ago. But I tried to brush it off. When the night wound down, we ended up going back to her place. It was early morning. Neither of us was too drunk, so we picked up some beer and kept talking. And that's when she opened up. She told me about some tough childhood memories, cried a little, we hugged. There was a softness there I hadn't seen in a while. She told me she was lonely because she was single, that she wanted to marry, that she had this list of things she wanted in a man. She insisted I tell her mine, and I said I didn't have one. She pressed me again and again, you should have a list, you live alone, you should live together with someone. It was starting to feel off, like she was trying to corner me into some kind of declaration. I changed the subject. She went off to change into pajamas. I told her, hey, if you get tired, just let me know and I'll head out. But she insisted I stay. She told me to come to bed. And I did. We lay there, we kissed briefly, we cuddled. And at some point, I started touching her butt, her chest. She responded. She moaned. She got closer. There was no hesitation from her, at least not in that moment. Then she got up, went to the bathroom, came back, and we continued for a bit. Until suddenly, she stopped, told me to leave. I was shocked, but I didn't argue. I asked what went wrong. She said she had to work. She walked me to the door. We even walked together to the bus stop. She seemed a little concerned, but when I asked, she brushed it off. I thought maybe it was just awkwardness, maybe regret, but nothing prepared me for what came next. An hour later, I got a voice message from her saying it wasn't consensual, that it was bad, that it was abusive. I couldn't believe it. I wrote back saying I was sorry, that I never wanted to disrespect her, that I left as soon as she told me to, but that I genuinely thought the vibe between us was mutual. A couple of days later, she doubled down. She texted me saying it was awful, that she never wanted that she had shared beds with male friends before and nothing happened, and that she regretted inviting me, that she lamented I didn't have self-control. That weekend, we both had to go to a mutual friend's wedding. She messaged me beforehand saying she'd limit her interactions with me and that I expected to behave properly. I decided to make myself scarce, sat at the far end of the table to avoid drama, but she sat next to me. She made small talk, chit-chat. Later, when I saw her alone, I thought maybe I could clear the air. I asked, is it okay if I'm here? She said no, that she could only deal with me in a group setting, so I left. That was the last interaction I had with her. After that, she blocked me on everything and cut me out of our college friend group entirely. And that was that. I keep asking myself, am I the asshole here? Did I cross a line? Did I misread the signals? Did I let my guard down because I wanted to believe the intimacy was real? Or am I just the latest in a long line of people she's burned? Because the truth is, she was mean. She had a sharp edge to her that she wielded like a weapon. But still, what happened that night sits heavy with me. I never wanted to hurt her. I thought she wanted it. In the moment, she gave every sign that she did. But then she said it wasn't consensual. And once that word is said, it's like a bomb goes off. Even if you know what you felt, even if you know what you saw, the narrative changes. You become the villain. And that's how she framed me to everyone else. I got cut out, kicked out, erased. Now I sit with this story, replaying every detail, wondering if I could have done something differently, if I should have just gotten up the moment she asked me to stay, if I should have never gone to her place in the first place. It's hard to reconcile the warmth of her cuddling against me with the coldness of that voice message an hour later. It's like two different realities, and I'm stuck between them. That's it. That's my story.